Imagine standing in a crowded room, your heart hammering against your ribs like a trapped bird, convinced that everyone can see the slight tremor in your hands or the bead of sweat on your forehead. Research shows that we overestimate how much others notice our internal states by more than 50%, a psychological phenomenon known as the spotlight effect. The truth is, your frantic effort to hide your anxiety is actually what creates the awkwardness you're so afraid of, while the nervousness itself is often perceived as a sign of honesty and engagement. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to stop performing calmness and start using your hidden signals to build deeper, more magnetic connections with anyone you meet. What if I told you that the very things you try to suppress, the fidgeting, the blushing, the occasional stumble over words, are the bridges that allow people to actually trust you? We've been taught that confidence is a smooth, uncrackable surface, but as a mentor who has watched thousands of interactions, I can tell you, perfection is a wall, but vulnerability is a doorway. Today, we're going to dismantle the myth of the cool exterior and analyze why your nervous signals matter far less than you think and how they might even be working in your favor. Part 1. The illusion of transparency. We all carry a heavy burden called the illusion of transparency. It's the mistaken belief that our internal feelings are leaking out for the whole world to see. You feel a surge of heat in your chest, and you assume your face is turning beet red. You feel your voice crack, and you assume you sound like a frightened child.
I once coached a brilliant executive named Sarah. She had to give a keynote to 500 people. Afterward, she came off stage trembling, nearly in tears, saying, "I ruined it. My hands were shaking so hard the clicker was vibrating." I asked the audience for feedback. Not one person noticed her hands, observing yourself through a magnifying glass, while the world is looking at you through a wide-angle lens. To break this spell, I want you to try the external anchor technique. The next time you feel that internal spike of nerves, pick 3 things in the room you can see: the color of a painting, the texture of a chair, the light hitting a window. By forcing your brain to process external data, you break the feedback loop of internal panic. You realize that if you have to struggle to see your own tells, others who aren't even looking definitely won't see them. Part 2. The magnetism of the cracked porcelain. There is a psychological concept called the Pratfall Effect. It suggests that people who are perceived as competent become significantly more likable when they make a mistake. Why? Because it humanizes them. It makes them relatable. Think about a first date. If you sit across from someone who is perfectly poised, never stumbles, and has an answer for everything, you don't feel impressed. You feel intimidated. You feel like you have to perform to match them. But if they spill a little water or admit they're a bit nervous to meet you, your shoulders drop. You feel safe to be yourself. I remember a young man who was terrified of his stutter during high-stakes meetings. He spent so much energy trying to speak perfectly that he ended up saying almost nothing. I told him to do the opposite. Start the meeting by saying, "I'm really excited about this project, so if I trip over my words a bit, it's just because my brain is moving faster than my mouth."
The result? The tension in the room evaporated. By claiming his nervousness, he turned a perceived weakness into a signal of passion. People didn't see a nervous guy, they saw a passionate guy. If this perspective is shifting how you view your own social glitches, I'd love for you to hit that like button. It helps this message reach someone else who might be sitting in their car right now, overthinking a conversation they had 3 hours ago. Let's help them realize they're doing just fine. Part 3. Reframe the electricity. Physiologically, nervousness and excitement are almost identical. Your heart rate increases, your breathing becomes shallow, and your cortisol rises. The only real difference is the label your brain attaches to those sensations. Most people try to tell themselves to calm down. This is the worst possible advice. Trying to go from high arousal anxiety to low arousal calm is a massive jump that your nervous system often rejects. It feels fake. Instead, use the Arousal Reappraisal method. Instead of saying, "I am nervous," say, "I am excited." Or better yet, "My body is preparing me for a challenge." When you see a speaker with a lot of hand gestures at a fast pace, you don't think they are nervous unless they look like they're trying to hide it. If they lean into that energy, you interpret it as high charisma. Your micro behaviors, the tapping of the pen, the pacing, are just forms of leakage for that extra energy. Don't fight the leak, channel it. If you have extra energy, use it to emphasize a point. Use it to project your voice. The social world doesn't care about the presence of energy, it cares about the direction of it. The practical action here, next time your heart starts racing before a big moment, speak your new label out loud. I am pumped for this. It sounds small, but it changes the vibe of your micro behaviors from defensive to offensive. Part 4. The truth about fidgeting and focus. We often think fidgeting signals a lack of confidence, but observational analysis shows that micro movements often signal active processing. When you adjust your glasses, touch your chin, or shift in your seat, it can actually communicate to the other person that you are deeply considering what they are saying.
In social settings, we are terrified of the silence. We think if we aren't talking, we are losing. But the most powerful person in the room is often the one who is comfortable being still, even a nervous stillness. There's a story of a mentor I once knew who had a visible tremor in his hands due to a neurological condition. He never hid it. He would hold his coffee cup with both hands, the spoon rattling against the ceramic. Because he didn't acknowledge it with shame, nobody else did either. His nervous signal became a non-issue because he refused to give it power. You see, people don't judge you for your nervousness. They judge you for your judgment of your nervousness. If you act like your shaking hands are a shameful secret, they will feel that tension. If you act like they are just a part of the weather of your body, they will focus on your soul instead. Try this. In your next conversation, if you feel a nervous tick, don't stop it. Just observe it. Say to yourself, there's that tapping again. It's just energy. By becoming an observer rather than a judge, you stop the meta-anxiety, the anxiety about being anxious, which is what actually causes social friction. Part 5. The gift of the visible heart. We live in a world of filters. We see curated versions of everyone's life on social media. Because of this, we are starving for something real. When you show up to a meeting or a date and you are a little bit unpolished, you are giving the other person a gift. You are giving them permission to be imperfect too. This is the social mirror effect. If you show up as a 10 out of 10 perfect human, the other person feels they have to be a 10 out of 10. That is exhausting. But if you show up as an 8 out of 10 human being who is trying their best, they can relax into their own 8 out of 10.
Your hidden signals of nervousness are actually invitations for connection. They say, I care about this interaction. I care about what you think of me. And that is incredibly flattering to the other person. The final lesson is this. You are the only person who feels the fire inside. Everyone else just sees the light it gives off. Stop trying to put out the fire. Use it to stay warm. Use it to illuminate the room. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to look back at one moment today where you felt awkward. I want you to look at it through the eyes of a mentor. Realize that while you were worried about your shaky voice, the other person was likely thinking, I'm glad they're talking to me. You don't need to be fearless to be impactful. You just need to be willing to be seen, tremors and all. The world isn't waiting for your perfection. It's waiting for your presence. The signals you think are weakness are actually the most human parts of you. And in a world of machines and algorithms, being human is the only thing that still truly matters. Trust the process. Trust your energy. And most importantly, trust that you are enough, exactly as you are, right in this moment.